Hello, Professor Schnicke in Sociology 101. Today I will be explaining the sociological and scientific reasoning behind the psychological phenomena of personal space. First, what is personal space? By definition, personal space is the physical space immediately surrounding someone, into which any encroachment feels threatening to or uncomfortable for them. Now that you know what personal space is, I can now begin explaining the background information and the scientific reasoning behind personal space. Since personal space is so important to humans, we have created 4 levels or bubbles of personal space. Intimate space is the smallest bubble of the 4. It includes everything 18 inches from the body, and only family, close friends, and pets are allowed in. Personal space is the second smallest bubble. It exists beyond 1.5 feet from the body, and friends and strangers are allowed into this space. Social space is the second largest bubble. It is the area beyond 4 feet from the body, and is known as the distance put between someone unknown. Public space is the largest bubble. It's everything beyond 12 feet from the body, and is open to everyone. The 4-bubble theory was first introduced in 1963 by Edward T. Hall, identified in his work and study of Proxemics. Of course, these bubbles' estimated distances do not only go out straight in front of the body but a complete 360 around the person. It's easier to see here. Here we can easily see how each of bubbles goes completely around the person. Now that we understand the background information of personal space, we can now start to learn about the scientific reasoning behind this phenomenon and significant experiments. We should go visit Professor Carter to find out more, but as we walk to his class, we should keep an eye out for examples of the 4-bubble theory. This is an example of intimate space. Ali and Mike know each other very well, so they feel comfortable letting each other into their intimate space. But if Mike leaves and then Carlos, someone Ali is not completely comfortable with, walks up to her, Ali will distance herself from Carlos, moving him out of her intimate space and into her personal space. This will make the conversation with Carlos more enjoyable and comfortable for her. Now if Carlos was a complete stranger, Ali would put Carlos in her public space, or the distance from the body where strangers' positioning is most comfortable for her. The outermost bubble is called public space, or the space where anyone can occupy it without an individual feeling uncomfortable. There's his office. Let's go inside and see if he can give us some information about personal space.
Hello class. Today I will be explaining the science behind personal space. Personal space is very important. Without it, we would not be able to function as a society. When unwelcomed people do happen to invade our zones, we tend to behave different.
Professor Carter, what do you mean when you say, behave different?
I mean that someone might put distance between the person who invaded the other's personal space, stop the conversation completely, or tense up. We can also sense when someone is entering our personal space. Can someone tell me who came up with this idea and what was the name of it?
I believe it was Edward T. Hall, and the theory was called the levels of awareness.
Correct?
But Professor, what makes us sense that someone is entering our personal space?
Well, this is because of the amygdala, or the brain's region that involves fear and constructs the bubbles of personal space.
Are there any other factors that go into why we act the way we do when our personal space has been compromised?
Anxiety plays a crucial role in letting someone into only our intimate and personal space. You will feel anxiety when someone you don't know enters these 2 zones.
Were there any experiments done to test this idea?
One study done by the Journal of Social Psychology in 1976 exposed that if someone who wasn't known to you enters your personal space, you were put into a bad mood, and vice versa. I'm afraid that is all the time we have today, but if you want to learn more about personal space, you can always read Edward T. Hall's The Hidden Dimension. Have a great day.
Now that we are experts in public space, let's recap what we learned today. Personal space depends on your own social preference and your relationship with another person. We also learned about the four-bubble theory and the various factors that go into individual bubble construction. The science behind this interaction can only be explained by the amygdala, or the region of the brain responsible for regulating fear. I hope that today's lesson has taught you valuable and useful information about the sociological and psychological phenomena of personal space. Goodbye.